So you saw Alien Covenant, right?
Yes.
What'd you think? I
I
haven't
liked
seen it
it.
yet. I saw Wonder Woman. I haven't seen that yet.
I like Covenant. I did.
Okay. I like Prometheus.
Prometheus. The thing with me is that I think a lot of people didn't like Prometheus because it kind of went. It was a totally different feel
Yeah.
to the movie than the originals. But I really if you're gonna get mad that Prometheus didn't follow the same feeling as the other movies, then I don't really care and I don't feel sympathy about that because I mean, granted, the internet really didn't exist. That it wasn't the way it is now. Back when Alien 3 came out and Alien Resurrection came out, but all of this anger about it's not the same should have happened when Alien 3 and the fourth one came out. That's when all this anger should have hit. And
The fourth one's so bad you don't even remember that it's called Alien Resurrection.
And I just said it too
Yeah.
before. It's there are good moments to that movie.
Yeah.
Except it's one or two good moments surrounded by fan fiction.
Yeah. I think the biggest problem with Prometheus is people were expecting an Alien prequel, and it was an Alien-ish prequel. It wasn't directly tied into.
Well,
Alien.
I think it's going to be.
It's going to be
because
it's just they expected it in that first movie, and now it's a trilogy or whatever the hell he's doing.
It was supposed to be a trilogy before, and so when Prometheus came out, there was a short blurb on the actual site that was promoting the film that brought up the fact that it was going to be a 1 out of 3.
Yeah.
And what Covenant shows, which is what I was expecting, is that it's connecting to where eventually this storyline's going to connect all the way to when Sigourney Weaver's Ripley when their team lands on that planet.
Okay.
I truly believe that's where it's going. That ship that they go on is connected to the end of this storyline because the way that the creatures develop and the way that they basically gestate, the way that the storyline's going is making complete sense because in the first Aliens movie, the reason why they stopped at that planet was because the company knew about this creature. The company knew that it wanted it. They were just waiting for the opportunity to finally get their hands on it.
Yeah.
And what Prometheus and Covenant shows is how the company knows that these things already exist.
Okay.
And to me, it's back to being Oliver Stone.
No,
Ripley Scott. I get
Ridley
directors
Scott,
Ridley Scott. I get directors' names confused. As I said before, I'm not. Yeah, I know, and this was done by James Cameron.
Yeah.
I'm not good with directors' names, but when it came to these movies being done by Ridley Scott, I really like the fact that he's showing how in his head. And this kind of goes with the whole Star Wars thing, that he's doing what he probably wanted to do back when he did the first Alien movie, but technology wasn't there yet movie-wise.
Yeah.
So I kind of went on a tangent there, but
that's all right.
Yeah, and
I'll either leave that as the cold open or move it to the end. I'm not sure yet. But hey, everybody, welcome to You Have to Watch This podcast. I'm Alan,
and I'm Ryan,
and today we didn't time this very well.
No, didn't.
This episode was supposed to be done a month ago.
Yeah.
A month ago.
But it's okay. Things happen.
Yeah. We haven't done an episode in a while. And today we're going to talk about Aliens, the sequel to Alien, and sequel to whatever Ridley Scott is doing now.
Prometheus, Covenant, and then whatever the next one is.
Do you think he's going to tie the Martian into all of this?
Oh, I hope. That'd be fun. That would be funny.
The third Alien prequel movie just ends with a spaceship flying in space with Starman by David Bowie playing.
Oh God.
But yeah, we're going to talk about Aliens, a movie I had never seen before.
Which I was very shocked at.
Yeah,
in all honesty.
The only Alien movies I have seen, and it goes in this order:
Okay.
Prometheus,
Okay.
Alien, Aliens.
Okay.
And I've seen bits and pieces of 3 and 4, I think.
Yeah.
but not enough that I actually got sucked into it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know Winona Ryder's in one of them.
Yeah, she's in. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I had never seen Aliens. I'd always heard about Aliens being one of the better ones.
Yeah.
But the reason I saw Prometheus first is I liked Lost and I liked Damon Lindelof.
Yeah.
And what I liked about Prometheus, everyone else hated.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So we wanted to do this in time for Alien Covenant. To
Yeah.
have like a relevant tie-in for social media and get more people to listen, but that didn't happen.
No, it's
It's
works.
been a busy month.
It's been a very busy month.
I finally wrapped on that picture. So,
Yes, you finally got done with the movie project, official movie project you were working on,
yeah. So that's fun.
and I'm starting my first month of a real job.
So, but we're here. We're here
We're
now,
here.
and that's what matters.
That's what matters.
We already have an episode from the day under our belt.
Yes, we
People
do.
Probably already listened to. I'm probably releasing that today. But yeah,
So, what were your? What did you think of it overall?
overall, I liked it.
Okay.
It wasn't as good as everyone led me to believe, and I think part of it's because it seemed very dated to me.
When you watch it nowadays,
Yeah.
and you just put it in, like, for lack of a better term, like just without even like looking anything up,
Yeah.
looking for the year that it was made in, the director, his timeline. It can definitely be very dated because you've got systems systems and technology being used in the movie
Well,
where it's
and
kind of like, Space Odyssey 2001, where you're like, huh?
Yeah, and nothing against your DVD copy of it,
Yeah.
but how old is that DVD?
Oh, this has got to be from, like, I don't know, 98, 99.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it showed. It
Yeah, I
looked
know.
like I was watching a VHS copy on my...
It's because this is a standard DVD.
Yeah.
When they made DVDs, they didn't enhance anything.
Yeah.
And if they did, it was barely minimal. And with these,
Yeah.
and with our TVs nowadays,
Mhm.
it picks it apart. That's why recently I went and I bought
The Blu-rays.
I bought the Blu-ray pack of all 4 original movies.
Nice.
So, and it is a lot better. It is a
Yeah.
lot better.
But at the same time, like, as much as that threw me off, I also was like, oh, this is kind of cool because this
yeah.
makes me feel like I'm watching it on VHS.
Yeah.
And like that's the best way to watch Paul Reiser in anything. It's just something that looks like it's on VHS. So, while I'm at it, fuck Paul Reiser. I just don't like him. I never watched Mad About You.
Okay.
His sitcom that he had back when Jay Leno had like that 10 o'clock show and Conan was on the Tonight Show.
Yeah.
I watched like the one episode like this sucks,
yeah.
and then it got canceled. So like I really don't want him to be on Stranger Things, but he's going to be on Stranger Things.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, I just don't like that guy.
Okay.
Something about his face I just want to punch.
Well, I was never into the whole sitcom thing really big, so I just, I just got him from this.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yes, you can make coffee. I would have closed the door, but it's hot as hell in here.
Yes, it is.
But yeah, I had never seen this, and I knew a bit about it from pop culture.
Okay.
I think it's fair to say that Community ruined the end of this movie for me completely. Did I show you the Halloween episode of Community where?
The zombie one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where they're the alien and the mech suit.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, by the way, was which was as a kid my favorite toys.
Yeah.
Because I had the queen alien that had the little thing like under like the brim of like the back of their head.
Mm-hmm.
There was a little air pump thing, and you'd pump that kind of like on like Jordan sneakers back in
Yeah.
the day. You'd do that, and like the little like mouth thingy that came out of like the actual mouth, like you'd pump the air, and that thing would shoot back in and out of the mouth. And I had the Ripley character in that giant like yellow, like the neck suit thing.
Mm-hmm.
but it was literally almost stood like a foot tall, and her action figure was like 6-7 inches. So you put her in, and then the queen was just like an 8-inch action figure.
Yeah.
But the claws, for being the early to mid 90s, you could still rotate them all the way around, and the grippers opened all the way and closed all the way.
Nice.
And it doesn't sound like much, but back then, that was huge.
Yeah.
And I remember those were my two favorite toys when I was younger, besides all my Micro Machines.
Was this movie more geared towards kids?
No.
Well, why are there toys then?
Back there, if I'm correct, I think there was a cartoon. I think they made a kiddie version of it in a way with like a cartoon or some type of show. I remember very, very like it's foggy, but I think they did something kid related for it, whether it be a cartoon or a short or some type of like
that thing
animated thing that came
in the 80s
out.
where they made every movie a cartoon.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like the Free Willy cartoon from my childhood.
Yeah,
where Free Willy talked.
Here's in the early 90s, one thing you have to kind of it was weird because you had all these movies coming out. I mean, and they were violent, but they still made kid action figures and nobody complained about it. So you have this movie where, I mean, there's things attached to people's faces. They find dead bodies. Aliens rip people apart. There's blood in this. I mean, you see a guy get melted in half. And they made action figures. And these weren't like, McFarlane, like figures you put on like your desktop. Like these were legit like that like 5-year-olds played with. And to me that kind of goes hand in hand because I had an experience when Demolition Man came out. In I think 92 or 93, I was in elementary school, and the students of the month that that movie came out, got a Demolition Man movie poster.
Oh wow!
And I'm talking like, let's see, it was a 93, see 5, and 90 I was 5, so we're talking maybe when I was like 7.
Wow!
So like 7-year-olds in an elementary school getting Demolition Man movie posters, a rated R movie. So I mean, things were
90s.
Oh, the 90s. Things were odd back then, but they made the coolest toys.
Yeah. Do you know the story on how James Cameron got the job for Aliens?
I was trying to look that up, and I was too tired, and I just I'm going to bed.
Legend tells that in a pitch meeting for the sequel to Alien, there was a whiteboard or a chalkboard. He walked in, added an S to Alien, and then made it a $sign.
Oh, okay.
And then he got the job. So that makes sense with the toys. Like,
yeah.
You get the toy in there, like the mech suit, the queen.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like what they did with Independence Day Resurrection, because it's pretty much just a rip-off of this.
Yeah.
Completely. But
what did you think of the whole aspect of having like the military involved?
I mean, it made sense. Like, how are you going to fight these things? Like, get the military in there, and they seem like a real military group, like close and know each other.
Yeah,
which I liked.
Yeah.
Bill Paxton, holy shit.
We're going to die, man. We're all going to die.
Game over, man. Yeah, like we just talked about Adam West.
Yeah.
Like, he's another one that we just lost. And it's like, oof.
Yeah.
And like, he was up there too, like super talented.
Mm-hmm.
And worked with James Cameron a lot.
Yeah.
I don't think he wasn't in Avatar though.
No, I don't believe so.
He won't be in the 10,000 sequels that they're making to Avatar. But Sigourney Weaver will be, even though she died in the first one. I don't know.
She died in the first one?
Yeah.
I'm having a memory blank on that one.
Yeah.
I must have blocked it out.
I'm guessing she's going to become like the tree in Pocahontas. Because they take her to the tree.
Yeah.
And then try to save her, and it doesn't work because she gets shot by.
Oh, now I remember. Yeah. Okay. That's one of those movies that I did like, but there are certain scenes I remember more than others.
Yeah.
Or certain story plots that I remember more than others.
Yeah. I haven't seen that movie since 2010, and I probably won't watch it again, even though I have it on Blu-ray.
Somehow we ended up with it on Blu-ray twice. I don't know how that happened,
Well,
but we
I
have it
don't-
twice.
I already have it, so I don't need it again.
You sure I have an extra copy?
I'm sure. Do you have the extended cut? Because I'm curious how that movie can be any longer than it already is.
I don't know. I don't know if one of them is extended cut or not.
That might be what it is. Like, you might have like, oh yeah, Avatar's great. I'm gonna buy the extended cut.
No, because I think what it was is that I think we had a miscommunication with family because like I got it for either Christmas or my birthday, and then my wife got it as a gift too from somebody. So I think there might have been like a miscommunication on like if we already had it and we ended up having it twice. We might have it 3 times. I don't know.
Okay.
But I'll take a look.
Yeah.
If I do have the extended version, I'll let you know, and we'll get some beer and get drunk halfway through and
Just
not
play the-
remember what the
Play
extended
the
scene
Avatar
was.
drinking game.
Every time the movie reminds you of Dances of Wolves, you take a shot.
Every time it reminds you of Ferngully and
Yeah.
Pocahontas.
Mm-hmm. Well, anyway, away from Avatar, back to aliens.
Back to aliens.
They're friendly aliens that we all like.
Yeah. This is probably up there for one of my favorite James Cameron movies.
Excellent.
Like, I like this more than I like Titanic.
Good.
I liked it more than I liked Avatar.
Good.
Maybe not as much as I like Terminator 2.
Do you want to know what would make those first 2 movies better?
What's that?
Xenomorphs.
Xenomorphs, yeah.
Xenomorphs.
I mean,
Can
who
you
knows?
imagine if xenomorphs were like crawling on the Titanic? If there was one on the Titanic,
I mean, Billy Zane was there, so he's probably the closest you get. Maybe
DiCaprio goes down to the cargo hold and finds an egg.
Xenomorphs are going to show up in these Avatar sequels.
Oh, they better. They better.
That'd be interesting.
One of my favorite things when it comes to the whole alien like storyline and universe and everything else is and I know a lot of people are kind of like roll their eyes at it and people don't like them, but I love the fact that finally a long time ago on a movie studio far, far away, they finally made an Alien versus Predator movie.
Yeah.
It gets a lot of hate, and I understand it. It's not the best movie out there, and I completely understand, but it fills a niche for me, and I will watch that
Yeah.
because I like it.
I remember that. I saw that before I guess I should count that. I saw that before I saw Prometheus or Alien.
Okay.
So I saw that, and I think I saw Predator,
Yeah.
but I was like, okay, this looks interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Or my dad rented it from Blockbuster
Yeah.
at some point, and I remember watching that because they go down. It's in Antarctica, right? They
Yeah.
go
It's
down underneath and
it's a labyrinth inside a pyramid under the ice in like Alaska or Antarctica somewhere, and it's pretty much there's like a frozen queen that's like trapped, and the predators, whenever people come across it and they get like implanted, it sends a signal and the predators come down because it's a game for them,
yeah.
because humans are used as the catalyst, and then the aliens pop out and an alarm goes off or some type of signal. The predators come down and then hunt the aliens, and then the humans that are still alive get like caught in the crossfire. I thought it was good. It just it reminded me of the whole like, because I've never really read them, but it reminded me of everything that I've ever heard from the comic books that dealt with that.
Yeah.
So that's why I
Now,
like
at
it
the
so
end
much.
of that, it's a predator xenomorph hybrid that pops out, right?
I don't remember.
'Cause I think that's what the sequel is. It's a hybrid of both.
Yeah, well, it's because of how the aliens like reproduce and everything.
So
Like they take on.
Now Prometheus probably screws all that up.
No,
right?
it doesn't.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. Covenant. Watch Covenant. It
Okay.
explains it.
Oh, okay.
It explains because I'll tell you just a tiny bit about
Is
it.
time travel involved?
No, it's not. The whole thing is that when the aliens do the whole face hugger thing,
Yeah.
and they pop out, when they pop out, it's not just a pure genetic form of what it's supposed to be. It takes on certain aspects of the DNA of the host. So if a facehugger were to put its, implant in a human, you get the xenomorph. If it were to implant like a chimp or a baboon, it's going to come out looking a little weird. because it takes on that material of its
Okay.
host and like use it to make like a hybrid,
Yeah, because that's how Prometheus ends, because it takes over the engineer,
and then it comes
it's
out
not
looking
quite,
weird.
almost like a xenomorph.
Yeah.
But not quite. Okay.
And in Covenant they explain it a little bit.
Okay.
They do.
Okay. I mean, James Franco's in it, so I hope they would,
Yeah,
because everything makes sense with James Franco.
you'll have fun with that.
Yeah, part of me just wonders if, since James Franco and Danny McBride are in that together, it's just a sequel to Pineapple Express.
No. I'll just tell
Man.
you now, it's not.
Oh. Breaking my heart. One of the things I liked about Aliens was like the whole motherhood aspect
Yeah.
with Ripley and Newt.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Newt was really good.
Yeah.
And she's only ever done this movie.
Yes.
But no, I really like that, because Ripley loses her daughter. I like the whole time jump thing. I
Yeah.
always like the story about the person out of time, like out
Yeah.
of their own time, like Captain America or
Mm-hmm. Fry from Futurama.
Somewhere in Time. Fry from Futurama. I guess that's the biggest one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kate and Leopold.
Oh, Kate and Leopold. Yeah.
that's a good one.
Our from
Our
our
studio-
live studio audience.
Have you ever seen the director's cut of that?
Kate and Leopold.
Yes.
No, I didn't even know there was a director's
It's
cut.
so much better.
I didn't know there was not a director's cut, and I saw it and I was like, what did they do with this movie?
Yeah, it's so much better.
Okay.
That's
I got
more
it.
on the list.
Okay. Because I've seen that once, and I saw it on like network television with commercials. So
Yeah.
I need to kind of see it all the way through.
But yeah, like the whole, like her whole thing, like opening up, like that's a good setup to, like that's a good epilogue to Alien. Like,
Yeah.
her waking up 57 years later, her kid's dead,
Yeah. Of old age.
of old age, which 66 as old age for the 80s, I guess makes sense.
I don't. I guess, but the movie's also supposed to be set. I don't know the timeline. Like Prometheus is supposed to take place in like 2000, like 98 or something
Yeah.
like that. So then Aliens takes place in like 2180 or something like
Yeah.
that.
It's all weird.
Yeah.
Because it supposedly they're
Or
all in
200
the
or
same
something.
timeline as Blade Runner too.
Yeah.
So
The same. Yeah. It's the same
Wait.
timeline as Blade Runner and technically Predator.
yeah,
So Predator 2 happened in this universe.
yeah.
If anybody wants to go outside and cry right now, you can.
I never saw Predator 2. I know Danny Glover's in it.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes. Oh, and there's a xenomorph skull at the end of
Yeah.
Aliens too.
Yeah, and that's why the whole Alien versus Predator thing happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now they made an Alien versus Predator movie, but why didn't they make a Terminator versus RoboCop movie?
Did those happen in the same universe?
No.
Okay, well then
Well,
They made a Nintendo
video
game.
games of it from.
they made a Nintendo game out of it. Just
Yeah.
because they made a Nintendo game out of it doesn't mean that it's gonna.
Tell that to Castlevania, because that's going to be on Netflix.
I had the Game Boy game to that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the first one.
We are not talking about aliens at all.
Yeah,
Right now.
no, we're not.
I think it's kind of sad that Ridley Scott just kind of ignores this movie.
The thing is, and he had a lot of issues with the movies that came after Aliens. He liked this movie, and James Cameron and him actually do have they do have a friendship. And it really tells with this movie because granted the studio kind of hijacked it, but
Yeah.
Ridley Scott did sign off on this movie. Like he did approve of it pretty much. I know that both of them had a lot of issues with where the movie series went,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's one of those things where you've got Aliens as kind of like mainstream. And Alien isn't. It fits more into like a niche.
Yeah, like higher, like horror, sci-fi.
Yeah.
Where this is more horror action.
Yeah.
Like, this
Exactly.
is definitely an '80s action movie.
Yeah.
And you like just watching it, like with the military aspect,
Mm-hmm.
the mech suits, and the
Yeah.
multiple endings.
Yeah. Like
So
it's definitely. It's definitely more mainstream. And then I don't know what movie exec decided to make 3 and Resurrection, but
Yeah. And 3's by David Fincher, right?
yeah, it is.
Yeah. So that's like, it's weird that he has his name associated with a bad movie.
Well, it's not that it's bad. It's that it didn't. You're gonna have to see it
Yeah.
because after the beginning, in which you realize what they did with the storyline, and after you kind of get over being angry at what they did, it
Yeah.
is a decent movie. It is, and it does fit in with the theme. It's just what they did to start off the movie wasn't kosher.
Oh yeah, because they kill off people. right
Yes,
away.
they do right away. And they kind of did something that really doesn't make any sense
Yeah.
at the beginning to like how they get to where they are.
Okay.
There's kind of, to me anyway, there's kind of a plot hole on how that happens. So
Which one did Joss Whedon write? 3 or 4? I'm gonna guess 4.
Resurrection,
Yeah.
to me,
I know he got involved with it somehow
Yeah,
because it was the 90s and
4 Resurrection to me is more like fan fiction to a point.
That would explain why Joss Whedon wrote it.
Because it because it's set like, I think 3 takes place in like 2002, around like 2200,
Mm-hmm.
and then the next one takes place in like 2400 or 2300 or something
It's
like
like a
that. It's
big
like,
time
yeah,
jump,
it's
yeah.
huge. It's a huge time jump. In fact, even the company that is basically is pretty much the like unseen antagonist throughout the entire series, no longer exists, and it's just one giant one world government that has like been like trying to re-engineer these things.
Oh wow.
And it's just like they get like clonings involved, and
Yeah.
like genetics
It's
are
like a
involved.
clone of Ripley, right?
Yeah, and it's weird.
Did you ever hear about Alien 5?
I've heard some things, but I don't really remember any of the like the plot points that we're trying to go
Some
for.
art came out a year or two ago of Neil Blomkamp, who did District 9.
Okay.
He was going to do an Alien movie, and it would take place. It would pretty much retcon 3 and 4, so it'd take place after Aliens.
Okay, good.
So, and the artwork looked really good, and everyone was excited. And then Ridley Scott's like, "No, this is my franchise," and they scrapped it. So,
It's
like,
funny
look-
that he didn't do that to 3 and 4, because I feel
Yeah.
because
Well,
I know
mean,
that James Cameron had issues with 3.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe eventually they will do it.
Yeah.
But everyone's getting up there in age, so probably not.
Yeah.
But it'd be interesting to see what
Yeah.
a sequel would look like to this.
Like a legit sequel,
Yeah.
not what they did.
Um,
But I mean, because here's the thing: they could have done 3 of the same storyline
Mhm.
and not have done what they did.
Yeah,
They really could have, but whatever.
it is what it is.
It is, yeah, it is what it is. When it came to when it came to the storyline, were there any points that you didn't like?
I mean, not really. It seemed pretty straightforward.
Okay.
The only thing I didn't like was, okay, they get on the ship, they're clear, they're safe, and then oh no, the Queen's back. It's like, okay, like I knew it was coming, but it was like,
Yeah.
okay, you don't. It's the whole tacked on ending thing
Yeah.
that happens a lot nowadays. It's just like, okay, I don't really need that.
But in that case, if you don't need it, then you never get the
But
fight
no,
between
well,
the
yeah,
Queen
you
and the.
get that, but
Yeah.
don't like. I'm not a big fan of. Oh, okay, we're safe.
And then
Oh
it comes
shit,
back.
no, we're not.
I would have liked it better if they would have shown the Queen like attach herself to the bottom of
Yeah.
it before it flew out.
So that you know,
Yeah.
and like I don't like the whole. Okay, everyone's safe now. But wait, there's a twist.
There's a twist.
What? I'm not a big fan of that.
Okay.
And I've never really been a fan of that. I'm trying to think of other movies that do it right now, but I'm drawing
M.
a
Night
blank.
Shyamalan.
Piranhas 3D.
What?
Piranhas 3D.
Piranhas 3D? You've seen that?
I saw that in theaters.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, that's a whole story. Do we have
My
time?
respect
Yes,
notch
we
has
do
gone
have
down
time.
for both of
Okay.
you. Respect.
So in college.
Okay, college. Okay. No, nope. Don't go any further. It's explained. I get it. We can move on. It happened in college. It's perfectly
She
fine.
has nothing to do with the story.
I don't care. She's giggling like she does, so it's fine.
I got tricked into seeing Piranha 3D. I want to tell that story. I'll make it quick. So I was in this film class where we made this motion picture.
Yeah.
It was the first semester of that. And a bunch of us wanted
Which was
to go.
Piranhas 2D.
We had class Friday nights, so everyone wanted to go out and get dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And the one guy's like, okay, I'll drive.
Okay.
So we went to TGI Fridays in Chambersburg. And then we're finishing up eating. He's like, you guys want to go see a movie? We're like, yeah, sure. What's playing? He's like, well, Piranha 3D's playing. And this guy drove. And everyone's like, yeah, I guess. What else is there? He's like, Piranha 3D. I'm like, okay. So no one really, like, as far as I know, no one really wanted to see this movie. But we all kind of got conned into it.
How did you could have just said no and walk? You could have walked home.
From Chambersburg to Monte Alto? I don't think so.
Yeah, that is kind of a long walk.
Yeah.
You were
Yeah, we were
kidnapped into
kidnapped,
seeing
yeah.
it. You didn't press charges? I mean, that's legit kidnapping. I mean, that'd be like somebody forcing me to go see, like, was it Nanny McPhee or something?
Nanny McPhee.
And Annie McPhee.
What do you got against Nanny McPhee?
I just here's the thing. No. It's not that I hate it. I'll be perfectly honest with this. It's not that I hate it. The problem that I have is that I feel like I was left out of the loop here.
Okay.
Because all of the sudden, Nanny McPhee movie was coming out, and everybody's going nuts. Like, oh, I love this movie so much. This is, awesome. They're doing a second one or doing a remake or whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, who the hell is Nanny McPhee?
Oh, see, I don't care about Nanny McPhee at all. I just don't know how you can hate on Piranha's 3D.
Oh, honestly.
Are we upset about piranhas or Nanny
Nanny
McPhee?
I
Which
don't
is it?
know. They're
Like,
both
I'm
blood-sucking
so
creatures.
confused right-
She's a vampire.
Oh, really?
I can tell by the previews. She's a vampire.
Yeah.
I just don't understand how everybody knows about this person, and apparently I missed the boat. I guess I was maybe like 2 years too old when the original movie came out. When did the original movie come out?
Like 2004, which is why I'm confused why you're so upset about it.
It's because when this movie came out, people who were young, like a lot younger than I was, like people. Well, actually, no, that would make sense. 2004, because a senior in high school, they would have been like 5, and if
Yeah.
that movie came out then, okay, anger done with. I'm fine. I'm totally over it now.
If you want to be angry about a movie about a nanny,
No.
in Britain,
I'm not
let's talk
angry
about
at the
Mary
movie.
Poppins Returns and how it's not Yondu.
It wasn't being angry at the movie. It was being irritated at the fact that, like, I saw the preview and I forget who I was with. I was with a lot of people and I was like, "What is this?" And they were all mad at me because I didn't know who she was. I'm like, "What? What are you talking about? I don't know who she is. Why are you mad at me for it?" Like, I was confused. Like, I was like, why are they making a movie nowadays with horrible movie makeup that looks like something that could be done on a high school prop stage?
We've gotten as far away from aliens as we could.
All I can think of is when Jeff gets mad at everybody else because of Harry and the ladies. And he's like, what, they're BNL now? Like, why, like that whole rant. I'm just like, oh my God. Like, don't
We let our audience get involved in the podcast. This is
Yeah.
great. Okay, well, okay, so I'm totally fine over my rage about Nanny McPhee. Let's get back to aliens.
I don't think we can. I
No,
think
we
just need to
can.
wrap it up
We
there.
can,
Like,
we can.
I
No.
liked aliens. That's it. I want to see Covenant. You recommend Covenant.
What did you think of Bishop?
I like Bishop. Which one's Bishop?
Bishop was the cyborg, the alien.
I liked him.
I mean, not the alien, the robot. The
Yeah.
robot. That's one thing that I wish that he was kind of in it more, in all honesty.
Yeah.
Because of what the first robot did in the first Alien movie, and then, I mean, like, let's say you take Prometheus out of it, and you take Covenant out of it, and you just go with those two robots.
Yeah.
With what happened in Alien to having Bishop, I feel like that there should have been more of a... It shouldn't have been at the end of the movie when Bishop gets, like, deactivated, that like Ripley starts to like him. I feel like that should have happened a little bit further, like
But I
like a
feel
little
it
bit
kind of
earlier in the
does,
movie.
doesn't it?
Well, to a point, like she sends him up, like he volunteers to go up on the roof because he's synthetic, he's
Yeah.
not human, and you could tell on Ripley's face, she's looked at him, she's like, yeah, you go do that, you know, kind of like sarcastic, but at the same time, like she doesn't want him around.
Yeah.
Because she still doesn't trust him, and it's not till the very end that she shows any kind of like warmth to the guy. Which
Mhm.
I know it's a robot, and that sounds kind of silly, but still, I mean,
Yeah.
the thing looks human, it acts human. You know, he has a very like puppy dog look face, like upset face on him, almost throughout the entire movie because of that actor's eyes,
Yeah.
like popping out of his skull. But still, it worked. But yeah,
I did not have coffee this morning.
that was a yawn.
That was a yawn. That's about all I've got.
Okay.
Do you want to yell about Nanny McPhee some more?
No, I'm fine.
No, you're not.
I'm good
You're
now.
Not fine. You're not
No,
fine.
I'm serious.
You're not
Now
fine
that I
with
know,
Nanny McPhee.
now that I know that the original one came out in 2004 when I was a senior in high school, completely explains why I've never heard of this movie before.
Yeah.
And I put the blame on the people who were looking at me like I was a xenomorph alien for not knowing who she was.
Yeah.
Them all are idiots, expecting somebody like me to know who she is. I do have that issue a lot.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
I'm 32 now.
Oh yeah. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
I
don't-
told you on Facebook. But
Oh, I know. It's good. I can't believe, I don't feel like I'm 32.
Yeah.
Like I don't. I still feel like I'm like 19 or 20 years old.
Yeah.
Mentally, I'm still like 12.
This is why we get into arguments about Nanny McPhee. All right. So, if you haven't seen Aliens, I recommend it.
Same here.
You recommend Alien Covenant?
I recommend Alien Covenant. And actually, if anybody is interested, even though I do have my issues with 3 and 4, I recommend sitting down and watching all of them just to get what the timeline is.
Yeah.
I mean, 4, like I said, 4 is fan fiction, so don't read too much into it. But it's interesting. It's also the most graphic. Like it's the most like gory.
Okay.
And there's a couple scenes that I have a hard time watching in that one.
All right.
Don't know what they are.
No,
It's fun.
I'll probably watch them. So no.
Just the
If
two.
I watch them, I'm borrowing your Blu-rays because I don't know if I can watch another VHS DVD.
They're really gory.
I was
It's
just
fun.
I was just waiting for the lines to like wiggle through the screen at some point. Like we when we watched Look Well this morning afterwards,
Yeah.
a clip from Adam West on Conan O'Brien in the 90s
Yeah.
came on, and it was from a VHS. So at the bottom, it just had like wavy stuff. going on
The static.
the
yeah.
whole time.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, this feels like I'm watching a VHS.
Mm-hmm.
There's a screen or ticker tape going across too. If you watched a lot of screeners as a kid,
We did
I
not.
might be the only one.
Yeah.
It would either go to black and white for half the movie, or you get ticker tape.
Ticker tape. A ticker tape parade?
It would
Or
be
just
like,
ticker tape?
This is not for commercial use.
Oh, yeah.
If you have like call this number, you're committing a felony, like that whole.
Wow.
I
I've.
worked at a video store, so we always watched movies on screeners that the video store got. Everybody would borrow it. I don't know how they made money because nobody borrowed movies. Everybody just watched the screener.
All right.
Okay. Well, now that the FBI knows, we live in
Do they
Shippensburg.
have a director yet? I can't keep track anymore.
I don't know if they do or not. Oh,
That
well.
was my favorite thing that happened out of that. Like he fires Comey, and then everyone's like, "Quick, everyone, copy your VHS tapes." They can't do anything about it. All right, everybody. For you have to watch this podcast. I'm Hal,
And I'm Ryan.
and go watch Danny McPhee.